Mata Pita Tumare Sharanagam Kisaki Swami Sharanagam Kisaki Tumabina Orana Duja Tumabina Orana Duja Ashakarum Kisaki Om Jaya Shiva Shakti Hare Vishaya Vikara Vitao Papaharo Deva Swami Papaharo Deva Sharavan Vivaraho Sharavan Vivaraho Santana Kiseva Om Jaya Shiva Shakti Hare 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 Shri Durga Mata Devi Ki Jai Sadhguru Deva Ki Jai Shri Shiva Shankara Bhagavan Ki Jai.
Congratulations, you made it to the Holy Precinct. Lots of obstacles to get to the Holy Precinct. And everyone that gets to the Holy Precinct on this auspicious day gets tremendous blessings and tremendous merit. It's a very auspicious day. And by coming, you honor a very great principle, the Guru principle. All these great beings, the blessings are working here. And actually the atmosphere is saturated with Chitti Shakti, particles of divine energy. So when one enters that arena, they get permeated by those divine particles. And that causes a tremendous expansion, tremendous purification. There are many great saints, and one of the specialties of this particular tradition is the Shaktipat tradition. And that means that the divine energy is working in ways that key off that divine energy in others. And one starts getting yogic processes that occur. That happens in rare situations where there's an intense influx of divine energy. This is a meditation tradition. It's also a tradition of grace. And grace makes things possible that otherwise would be impossible. Grace makes things possible that otherwise would be impossible. I was with Dhyan Yogi one day, and a cave yogi came that had been meditating decades in a cave. He said, "I'm not having much success in my meditation." And Dhyan Yogi tapped him on the head, and he went into meditation. That's the power of grace. Grace makes things available. Many yogis spend years doing tapasya, doing all types of austerities, trying to awaken the inner spiritual energy. Here, people come in, and many people that come have spiritual awakening. The thing is whether we can appreciate the magnitude of what's going on. This is the Holy Mother of the universe, the evolutionary power, the intelligent power in the universe at work that's working for your benefit. This is the real deal. This is the real thing. These processes take one higher and higher, and part of that process that's needed is disciples' grace. There's Guru's grace, there's disciples' grace. Disciples' grace means one turns towards Guru so that the power can flow into the disciple. One's approach is a relevant factor. However, being in this arena, no matter what your approach, you're getting blessings. But to keep it going and for it to grow, the direction one's mind turns is important. Truthfully, in my sadhana days, I had a separate room. I built a whole shrine for the Guru, put a life-size picture in there, and went in the morning, every morning at 3 o'clock and meditated till 6 o'clock. Just me and the Guru. That's one-pointed. People may not be doing that, but whatever they do, even if they do 5 minutes, just light a little light, wave a little incense, the Mother, the Guru. If it's done regularly, it sets up a vehicle for grace. Because things that are done regularly penetrate deep into the psyche. It's much more significant than doing short, big blasts of spiritual practice, which are good, but the regularity of something simple. Even in India, you might see a taxi driver every morning, he waves the incense to a picture on the taxi. He makes that offering. He makes that connection. Every day, he does that little offering. And that little offering goes a long way. There are many keys to bring this grace into one's life. One can play the mantra in the house. That charges the atmosphere. The whole atmosphere gets vibrated, and it draws this grace, these blessings. One can do a simple puja, simple offerings. One can do some simple regular sadhana or daily practice. And one of the big problems in the Western circumstance is to maintain the reality. We do little sections of sadhana, but then we go out into the world and work. So how to keep it going, how to maintain the reality all day. And that's where the teachings on living consciously, serving the Supreme, not being a victim of circumstance, making friends with the mind, all these things help to live in ways that support the inner process and keep the inner process going. Everyone has a gross body, everyone has a subtle body, everyone has a causal body, and then there's the inner self. Everyone has an inner self. Regardless of one's religion, regardless of one's tradition, everyone has an inner Kundalini Shakti, and everyone that experiences the inner self is due to the blessings of the workings of the same Kundalini Shakti. The Jnanis, it's Chit Shakti. And the yogis, people doing asanas, people doing mantras, Prana Kundalini is very active. Prana Kundalini is a very easy path because these practices purify the psyche. All the ingredients are here to bake the cake. We've already baked the cake. You need to bake the cake. We got the Holy Mother of the Universe. Pujas being done daily for decades. Full pujas daily for decades. That's a personification of this evolutionary power that's at work in what you feel, the presence you feel. Divine presence. That divine presence is particles of divine energy are experienced. One may get absorbed in that presence. It manifests in feeling awareness. One feels the presence. It also can manifest in visual ways. One may see sparkling consciousness in the atmosphere. That's actually a subtler level that gives rise to these grosser forms. It's like having X-ray vision. So there's a subtler aspect to being. This is actually all the Divine Mother's Leela, or it's called a play of consciousness. Consciousness is playing all the roles. Consciousness appears as the guru. Consciousness appears as the disciple. Consciousness blesses itself within itself. It's playing all the roles. And the guru is the grace-bestowing power. It's the fifth-fold function. Creation, sustenance, dissolution, concealing, self-revealing. Self-revealing is guru. Guru's not a person. Guru's a power of God, a principle. But when someone's merged in that principle and that principle is active, then they look at them as the guru, because that's the bridge between this reality and that reality. It's the bridge to be able to bridge from the world to the divine. The guru is the bridge. In my opinion, a disciple is the most worthy person on earth. It's the greatest status. It's the supreme status. Because if one's a disciple, then they've gotten on the train, and the train only goes one place. Eventually it gets there. If one stays on the train goes where it goes. You could call it Vaikuntha, you can call it Kailas, call it Siddhaloka, call it Deviloka, wherever it is, it's good. Brahman, merging in the Godhead. When one gets on the path, there's nothing like the path, because everything else falls into line. It's all alignment around the path. Everything falls into place around the path. We have to put the horse in front of the cart. We have to put the purpose of life in the front of our activities and move in that direction. If our being is moving towards that direction, we can't lose. We can only go higher and higher. Sickness is no problem. Nothing is a problem. I've been very sick the last year, critically sick. Still up here giving discourses, trying to lift people up, talking about these spiritual things. Everybody's going to get sick. Everybody's going to die. The whole thing is, can you face it in a good way? Because the way that you engage with it, does it become a teaching for other beings? Or are you going to sell yourself to your body? You're more than the body. The body's a vehicle. It's a great thing, it's something to take care of, and it's something to respect, but it's a vehicle of something greater. And the interesting thing about your bodies, since you have awakened spiritual energy, your bodies radiate that spiritual energy, and other people being around you at some level are affected by that spiritual energy. So actually the town's blessed, the earth is blessed, the cosmos is blessed by a disciple, by a meditator, by a yogi. Krishna says in chapter 18, if you're going to do anything in this life, become a yogi. A yogi can either be a practitioner, or a yogi can be one that's accomplished. But anyway, to become a yogi is the purpose of life, to become more aware is the purpose of life. And not to honor that evolutionary power is not to honor your own potential. And that's what this is all about. Did you have anything in mind?
You mean after what Guru says, and after chanting the Guru Gita, if we study the meaning there, it seems a little pointless to talk. But then it's this thing where he wants us to say things. So you have to squeak something out. But I guess I'd just like to say I'm so happy that everyone's here. It's a really bright conglomeration of souls, and I'm so happy every single one of you are here. So happy. And Guru usually says something like, you think it was your decision to come, but was it really? And that there's more going on than meets the eye. And I think that couldn't be more true. It would be like saying that the planets decided to orbit the sun. The planets didn't decide to orbit the sun. The Mother put everything in place. The disciples were magnetized to the Guru. The Mother appeared as the Guru and the disciples, and the Mother put it all in place. Yes, we have to work still, the feeling of work. But, last night when we were singing the Arti, I heard all the individual voices, and there was this overriding, thrilling awareness, sense, feeling that that everyone in the room was like a string on the Mother's one divine instrument, and it was such an enthralling sense to hear all of your voices. I could hear them, but know that you're all strings on the Mother's instrument. And I thought, that's the true meaning of Sangha. I just thought, so I just feel so honored. And, people get giddy over things in this culture like the solar eclipse. And but I think the thing that puts it all to shame is the thought that right now, in this one point of time and space, these embodied souls have come to the point where they've come to the feet of the Master. And that Master's alive, and together this beautiful conglomeration of souls is honoring the source of their freedom. And it's all occurring right now. It's like the supreme confluence. It puts all the other confluences to shame in my mind that the souls have come to the feet of the Master, and what's happening here is happening here. So I wonder if we understand the significance of the connection with finding the Master. Once the Master is found, and we're not finding the Master, but once we come to the feet of the Master, the trajectory of the soul is going. It's going. And basically, the supreme treasure, which is the purpose of all of evolution, once one comes to the feet of the Master, that supreme treasure that all the scriptures talk about is now within arm's reach. However, it is on the aspirant's side to dive and dive deep for this treasure. But there is no doubt that once you come to the feet of the Master in a human birth, it's all there. It's all waiting for you. Everything the scriptures say is true, and you can have it all. It's just time to dive. So, you know, Guru always talks about on Guru Purnima that Gu and Ru, darkness and light. Guru dispels darkness and reveals light. And I think sometimes an important point in that setup, equation, whatever you want to call it, is that the light is already there, inside, dwelling within all. However, the crucial point, the crucial need, the job is not to create that light, but the light's there. The job to be done is to have that light stand revealed. It's like the inner self as a light is in a lantern, but that lantern has some covering around it, so it's not able to, it's obscured. But the individual bound soul who's riding in the body, who needs the veil lifted, who needs the lantern clean, it's even if you're brilliant, absolutely the most brilliant mind, or if you are the most pure-hearted devotee, it gets to the point where the aid of the Guru is essential for the last legs of the journey. And so I guess the idea is the Guru's tirelessly, 24/7, his full job that he does all the time. When you visit, you see one thing. When you live here, you see 24/7 all he is doing with his being is he's removing the veil for people, for the aspirants. That's all he does, 24/7. He does it through so many ways. He does it through the satsangs, through invoking the One and whoever he comes into contact with, relaying teachings, handing over the iPods, everything. He does it, and really the Guru's role in all this is to be a receptive participant in the process, because the Guru's the one that's going to clean the lantern, and cleaning the lantern, cleaning the veil, the obscurations, the ego. That requires a bit of a spiritual warrior nature, because sometimes the Guru might point out something and, well, maybe it pricks like an arrow, maybe it's not what you want to hear, but gosh, it's really Mahaprasad to be in the presence of someone who's completed the process, who can see what's in your way, what's holding you back. So the ardent aspirant would look at, tell me what I need to know. I want to cleave through the veil. The ardent aspirant, it's Mahaprasad, whatever the Guru can say to lift the veil. Speaking of all the things that Guru does and says 24/7 to bring about the transformation in his disciples, besides the teachings, the talks, everything he does, the aspect that to me is the most enthralling, and enthralling, there's really not a word for what I see for it, is for seeing. It's so hard to even talk about something like this. The example he sets is one way to say it. the example he sets, because we don't want our mundane earthly eyes to deceive us with what's going on here. This is big stuff. Basically, when we see Guru moving through situations and interacting, whatever he says, whatever he does, we don't want to think it's a mortal. We see a steadiness that's not normal. We see a steadiness that's not normal. And that's because what we're actually seeing, I need to just say it out, is we're seeing the formless revealed moving through the form. So basically, we're seeing in our very birth and in our very lifetime, we're seeing the marriage of Shiva and Shakti in action. And that's what the scriptures state is the supreme goal. And we're seeing it. We're having darshan of that. So, I mean, what can you say? What more can be said?
My key.
Oh. So I just wrote a little something today, so I thought I'd read it. Titled The Guru. Who is this guy in this humble, weathered red hat, red shirt, and white pants? Who is this guy who walks unnoticed, unrecognized in the crowds of Boulder? Who is this guy who comes into Red Rock each day with a few people always wandering in behind him? His name is Shankaracharya. His mantra is Om Reem. His mission is your realization. Shank is my best friend. He's helped me realize what a best friend is. Sure, you may go to the movies, have a meal or tea with your best friend. You also may, quote unquote, grow and share with your best friend. But this is not what makes a true best friend. Your best friend is a bridge to the divine, to infinity, to the Holy Mother. Your best friend is the one who invokes this in you whether you can see it or not. There can only be one best friend, and that is the Guru. Shankaracharya is my example of a true master. He's not only originated the teachings like affectionate detachment, making friends with the mind in divine ignorance, he is the teachings and is living them every day. He invokes the divine in us whether we return it or not. He lifts us up whether he feels good or not. He generously gives everything whether we put money in the box or not. Shankaracharya is the teaching, the mantra, the Divine Mother, and the Holy Father. What more of an example of a master could we have? The Guru is my divine eraser. He relentlessly rubs my identity, my ego, my karma, till there is no longer a my or little I. Every nudge, every poke, every joke is laced with the grace of his divine eraser. He has erased who I thought I was and continues to etch who I am. He is the eternal one that lives within us. He is the one who reminds us of our true home. He is, for the select few, our Guru, with eternal gratitude.
So I have this saying, I go every Friday, I've been going for nearly 3 years. And I could write a book. I couldn't even tell you the things. Sometimes I go in and a baby's being baptized. Sometimes I go in and someone's paid for a big Shiva puja. That particular time, the priest pulled me up and had me do an offering. There's always something. It's unbelievable. But one particular week, months ago, I walked in and there was these 3 beautiful Indian women, much older, around the Murti, and their devotion was so palpable. They were just so beautiful. and they were giving Sai the offerings. They're right by his feet, by the Morti, and I was just struck by the beauty. And then I could feel guilt that they looked at Sai, and no one ever told them that God was within them. That no one, and you always tell us, you're always, in both of you, are always invoking God in all of us. You're always saying about the inner self. And I thought about the purity of our group, of you and under my, and how you're always serving us. And it's endless. It doesn't matter who walks in the door. It doesn't matter what problem they have. It doesn't matter if you feel well or not. It doesn't matter if you had an operation. It doesn't matter. You're constantly serving us, and reminding us to look within. And how extraordinary this opportunity is for all of us. And how rare, how really rare.
Well, first of all, thank you both very much for everything. This is an incredibly rare and unique situation we're in. Our guru is everything From said, everything Purnima has said, everything the Lions has said, and to witness it every day. He is not in good health. You have a lot of physical stuff. And he gets up every morning and comes in to give darshan and to erase us. And then all these people come into the ashram, into the house, and they're everywhere. And you don't miss a soul. You touch everyone. You acknowledge everyone in one way or another. No one is left, no one's hidden. You find them. And I think that this is the real thing, and if we're not getting it, that's so unfortunate. Thank you, Guru, so much.
Thank you.
Two things popped in my head while we were chanting. One was, I guess the audacity of when Dhyan Yogi named you Shankaracharya. I don't know that coming from an American context, it really strikes a lot of people what a big statement that was. It's like analogous to taking a guitarist and saying, I'm going to call you Jimi Hendrix, or a basketball player, I'm going to call you Michael Jordan. And what amazes me is how unbelievably you've lived up to that. This is a title in the name of a man who completely, revolutionized Hindu thought. It affects the world on a daily basis now. And the other thing that popped in my head was the image of Hanuman when Sita was kidnapped by Ravana and hidden in the Ashoka Grove and surrounded by demons and illusion. Hanuman came and found her with Ram's ring in his mouth. And he brought that reality of Ram, of the unparalleled divine, into that world of illusion. With the message in his mouth. And I think about that, fittingly think about Dhyan Yogi at the same time too, of how your teachings have brought a whole new reality into this world for so many of us. Sita, when she was stuck in that grove, was, she had full faith in her husband, but even then, there's starting to be some shades of doubt and wondering if she's ever going to get out. And so to have that revelation from Hanuman is like being able to come to the Guru, have the Guru come to us. I was lucky enough to have the Guru come to me initially. I'm very grateful to be able to.
I wasn't sure if I was going to share it or not. I thought I might sit on it, but something happened a couple months ago when you were giving your satsang, and it was the one where you were talking about your life, your amazing life, and all these saints that you have been with. And towards the end of the satsang, you pointed down and you said, "This is the point." And something happened to me when you did that. You pointed down, and there was like a flash, and then everything you had just talked about was sitting there with you, and it was all looking back at me. All the saints, everybody, the whole story was sitting there looking at me. And I couldn't move. I was just like, couldn't take my eyes off you, because all this light, all this, my Guru was the point of all of it, just sitting there in front of us. And it was the most amazing thing. I thought, this is it, you know. And I knew that you still had to walk around and give the Shaktipat, and everything that I knew just blew up at that point. Everything that I thought I knew, and I thought I knew a lot, it just all blew up. And it was unbelievable. Then you still had to come around, and I knew that we were all just sitting here in the point of all of it, and you were the point. And then you brought it all here, and you invited us all to it. And so when you walked around you put your hand on my head, and I knew this was it. You're gonna put the point right on my head. So it's just something to think about when Guru walks around in Shaktipat today, and Anandamai walks around in Shaktipat today. They're not just putting their hand on your head. They're putting it all the blessings of all of it in your head, in us, and inviting us all into this amazing world. And I knew what I was seeing was still only a scratch of the surface of what is actually happening. And it just kind of blew my world up, and I've been kind of sitting on it because I wasn't sure if I was going to share it or not. I didn't think I was, and I guess when you said there's more going on here than meets the eye, I just felt like I wanted to share that, because whatever we think it is, it's way more. It's explosive. So.
Now, I thought of something that I thought of so many times that I've never said. Every time I come here, I feel like I'm coming home. And I'm sure that everybody else can relate to that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I noticed when we got here that there was a feeling that people had of having done something wrong. Like, oh, I've been doing puja wrong. And some people were hearing, oh, you're doing this and it's wrong, what you're doing. And I was watching all that thinking, wow, these people are thinking they're doing it wrong, but that's not the Guru's message. And I had a conversation with a dear friend about that. And I realized we are so loved because Guru shares the story of when he went to see Muktananda and he didn't want to go back to Bolga. And Muktananda called him in and was stomping his stick and yelling, and someone later said, you're so lucky, he loves you and wants you to do this. He doesn't do that very often. And we have a guru who will tell us, this is what you need to do. But it doesn't mean we're a mess. It doesn't mean we're doing it wrong. It just means look at what we need to do to live what Guru's trying to get us to live for our higher selves. So it's all good news.
except for the ego identifying with doing it wrong. And I'm grateful to have a guru that's so strong and powerful and tells us what we need to hear. Thank you, Guru.
Amen.
Yay!
गौरी गणेश उमा गणेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश गौरी गणेश उमा गणेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश शरणं 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 गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश गौरी गणेश उमा गणेश पार्वती नंदन श्री 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 गणेश शरणं 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 गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश गौरी गणेश उमा गणेश पार्वती नंदन श्री 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 गणेश शरणं गणेश शरणं गणेश शरणं गणेश शरणं गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश गौरी गणेश उमा गणेश पार्वती नंदन श्री 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 गणेश शरणं 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 गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश गौरी गणेश उमा गणेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश गौरी गणेश उमा गणेश पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश गौरी गणेश उमा गणेश
Shri Ganesh.
Gauri Ganesh, Uma Ganesh, Parvati Nandana Shri Ganesh.
Parvati Nandan Shri Ganesh.
Parvati Nandana Shri Ganesh.
Parvati Nandan Shri Ganesh.
Parvati Nandana Shri Ganesh.
Parvati Nandan Shri Ganesh.
Parvati Nandana Shri Ganesh.
I also tried to read Bible and couldn't really understand much of it because of the language and the times it was written in. And then I met Guru, and forever thankful to Teresama for connecting me to Guru. And you sent me a few pages of saying that before you come to me, see if you relate to this. And ever since that day, everything that you say and everything that we read in all of the book that you have shared, it just feels like somebody has really distilled all of the scriptures, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Purana, all of the complex concepts and made it accessible and super simple in plain English for us. And I read that and I can relate to it. It makes all sense. And of course, I go away and then it stops making sense. But then I read it again. Or we listen to you and just everything just falls in place. The puja makes sense. The mantras make sense. Why somebody would go to a pilgrimage or why would somebody go to a temple? We have grown up doing that. Like I think somebody gave the example, right? We met those Indian ladies, they were doing the puja. You have grown up just doing that because somebody told you it's the right thing to do, right? You just follow the tradition and follow the people and you say it's a good thing, it's the right thing, something happens. But you don't really know why you should do it, right? And when you are educated in the Western education system, you're always, one side of your mind is always questioning. What's the meaning of all this? Why am I doing this? Why am I, why all these rituals, right? But you listen to Guru and everything makes sense. Everything has a meaning. And it all makes sense, but I try to explain it to other people why it makes sense coming from you and I can't. So, but to me, at least in my heart, in my mind, for myself, I feel free of contradictions at that point. Now I am free to do everything. I go to temple and I used to feel weird going to temples earlier because, one side you're Western educated and you're like programmed to question everything in a scientific manner, and then you're going to temple and performing these rituals which are centuries old and nobody knows why they are being performed, right? And when you listen to Guru, it makes sense. You feel free that you can go to a temple, you can go to a place and it has a meaning, it has a purpose, and it's right in its place. And I feel the same way. I go to Tirupati or to, this time on India trip, I went to Vaishno Devi, which is a Mata temple up in the Jammu Kashmir region. And people make these 14-mile track and they go up. It's pretty hard. You go there and you're exhausted by the time you get there. But you go there and like every day, tens of thousands of people are coming in, constantly coming in. And you feel part of that also. All of that makes sense now, and all of that you feel, wherever you go, you feel like it all falls in place. Sorry, that's long. And just one more line for Anmaima. Every time I see you, and first time, it's hard to look at you because it's like 1,000-watt bulb is. I get like
I have to take my eyes off because like, I can't look straight. And I think it's because of the Guru makes it easy. It's easy to look at Guru. It's like because of the meditation and everything, it's just I wish I could just look at you like every day.
Oh.
At least once every day.
Oh.
Guru
Jeff?